the final area of expertise I've identified is to be an expert in the future, which is, of course, there's a wonderful irony in that because no one is an expert in the future, and yet we must strive to build expertise in the future. So what this is trying to speak to is a particular quality of envisioning the future, which is about foresight. And so foresight is the ability to step back and see how the patterns might unfold and to understand where things might go. One of my favorite examples of foresight was the Chinese government in the 50s and 60s was analyzing, why is it that the West, in particular America, is able to be so effective at building all these extraordinary technologies? What is the difference that makes a difference? What were they doing that the Chinese weren't doing, basically? And what they identified was that the Americans and the British in particular are excellent at creating science fiction. They write powerful science fiction stories, and science fiction is powerful because first you imagine the future in the science fiction and then you live it. For many people today, we live in a science fiction reality right now with our smartphones and AI and self-driving cars and satellite internet from space, and you pick your miracle, it's there already. So what they then went and endeavored to do was to support science fiction writing in China so that they could imagine their own version of the future, not just to rely on the models coming from Western science fiction writers. And the success of Cixin Liu's three-body problem, amongst others, is literally the example of that coming to successful fruition. So the future belongs to those who can imagine it and build it. And so as a leaderpreneur, we need to build that quality of building expertise in how we see the future, but also developing the humility to realize that we can never understand the future. We can only be part of the conversation and the imaginings of what might take place. So it's a subtle art, of envisioning the future. But if we want to build the future, we must be able to imagine it. And that's really what this fifth area of expertise is all about, an expertise in imagining a better world.